Please subscribe.
In Umupke Kingdom, there once lived a man whose heart was as strong as the Iroko tree and as gentle as a flowing stream. His name was Ukodo, a warrior whose bravery spread far beyond the borders of Umupke. He lived in a beautiful mud hut built with smooth red clay and decorated with cowries' shells. This hut was a gift from the people, offered to him after he won the greatest war ever fought in Umupke's history. Ukodo was not just respected, he was adored, trusted, and needed. Whenever he stepped out of his hut, riding his tall brown horse, the villager would shout joyfully, "Ukodo the great fighter! Ukodo the savior of Umupke!" And Ukodo, humble like a calm river, would smile and raise his hand gently. Though he was strong like iron, his kindness was soft like warm palm oil. Many said he had the spirit of both man and ancestor. As leader of the Umupke warriors, Ukodo trained his men behind his hut, where 3 tall palm trees stood like ancient gods. These palm trees were so tall, they touched the dreams of the sky, and their leaves danced with every whisper of the wind. Ukodo trained his warriors with patience, strength, and wisdom. He taught them how to listen to the heartbeat of the forest, how to strike only when necessary, and how to protect the weak. The villagers often gathered to watch, their hearts swelling with pride. Children would imitate the movement. Women would point at Ukodo and say, "May our sons grow to be brave like him." But one night, everything changed. A deadly spirit warrior from the eastern forest rose and attacked Umupke. The battle lasted 3 days and 3 nights. Lightning cracked through the sky. Drums of war thundered like angry girls. Ukodo fought with all his strength, his body glowing with sweat and dust, his spirits burning like fire. In the final moment, he defeated the spirit warrior, but at a great cost. No one knew what struck him. No one knew how he fell. But the morning after the battle, Ukodo was found lying still, his body cold, his eyes closed peacefully. The kingdom wailed. Women cried until their voices broke. Men beat their chests. Children clung to their mothers. Even the palm tree behind his hut bent slightly, as though bound in grief. Ukodo had died a hero, but the mystery of his death remained a wound that never closed. After his burial, the elders gathered beneath the great Iroko tree of judgment. They had seen a strange sign, a white smoke rising from Ukodo's grave, calling like the tail of a spirit calling for attention. The chief prince announced, "Ukodo is not gone. His spirit still watches Umupke, but it demands a vow." And so the people made an oath. Every year, 7 days before Ukodo's remembrance festival, a man who must not drink water for 7 days must journey into the even forest, the place where Ukodo fought his final battle. There, hidden in the darkness, rested Ukodo's skull, glowing faintly with ancestral power. The man must fetch the skull and return before sunrise. If he succeeded, blessings filled Umupke. If he failed, storms, sickness, and sorrow would cover the land. And so the ritual began. Year after year, some men returned shaking with fear, some never returned at all. But the festival always depended on them. The evil forest was not a forest made for humans. Its trees whispered, its shadows moved, its winds carried the voices of restless spirits. The chosen man, dry-lipped for 7 days, without drinking water, would walk into the forest with trembling steps. The moonlight could not follow him. Even the birds refused to sing in that place. And deep inside, beneath a twisted tree with branches shaped like claws, sat the skull of Ukodo. Its eyes glowed faintly like dying coals. Some said they heard it humming a war song. Some said it cried. But only the chosen man saw what truly happened there. Whichever man returned carried the pride of the entire kingdom on his shoulders. And the festival began with drums, dancing, and storytelling. Each celebration kept Ukodo's spirits alive. The year came when something felt different. The air over Umupke was heavy. The wind blew strangely as if carrying warnings. Even the river that usually sparkled in the morning now looked dull and tired. When the 7 days approached again, the entire kingdom gathered at the village square. The chief priest raised his staff, decorated with cowries and red cloths, and declared, "A man must be chosen, but this year no man has volunteered." A frightened murmur swept through the crowd. Many looked at the ground. Some pretended to adjust their wrappers. Others shifted uncomfortably. It was not because they were cowards. It was because the last 3 fetchers never returned. The evil forest had grown angrier, the spirit had grown restless, and the score was becoming harder to retrieve. The people whispered, "Who will go? Who will save us this year? Does this mean the festival will not hold?" The chief priest looked around, his eyes worried. Then suddenly a calm voice rose from the back. "I will go." The entire crowd turned. Walking slowly to the center was a young man, Umupke, Ukodo's grandson. He was no more than 20 years old, tall, but still with a boyish face. His eyes carried the quiet fire of his grandfather. Mothers gasped, fathers shook their heads, children held their mothers' wrappers. The chief priest frowned deeply. "Umupke, do you know what you're saying?" The boy bowed his head respectfully. "I know. Ukodo fought for Umupke. His blood runs in my veins. If the forest wants a descendant, then let me go." A long silence followed, a silence so deep that even the palm trees seemed to listen. Finally, the elders nodded. Umupke's preparation began immediately. For 7 days he did not taste water. Not a drop touched his lips. His mother cried every night, covering her mouth so he would not hear her. His younger sister followed him everywhere, her eyes always filled with fear. But Umupke remained calm. On the 6th night, when the moon hung low and red like blood, Umupke dreams of Ukodo. In his dream, the legendary warrior stood before him, tall, bright, and surrounded by a golden light. Ukodo's voice was deep, like drums from the otherworld. "My son, do not fear the forest. Fear the truth waiting inside it." Umupke tried to speak, but Ukodo's hand touched his shoulder. "When you see the skull, remember, the dead do not sleep when their stories are unfinished." Then the dream shattered like broken calabash. Umupke awoke, trembling, sweat running down his face despite the cold night. What truth was Ukodo talking about? On the morning of the 7th day, Umupke began his journey. The entire village was silent as he walked past. Even the animals, birds, watched him strangely. His mother tied a red cloth on his left wrist, whispering, "Let your ancestor walk with you." The chief priest handed him a small gourd containing ashes from Ukodo's war camp. "Throw this when the spirit block your paths." And so, Umupke walked alone into the evil forest. As soon as he stepped inside, the world changed. The sky darkened. The trees twisted into frightening shapes. The ground felt alive under his feet. Whispers floated around him, voices that were not humans. "Turn back, you will not live. Ukodo's blood returned to us." But Umupke kept walking, deeper, deeper, deeper. Soon, he reached the heart of the forest, a place where no bird, no insects, no breeze dared to enter. There, under the twisted black tree, the skull of Ukodo sat, glowing faintly with a blue-white light. Umupke swallowed hard. His throat burned from taste. His heart pounded like drums of war. He stepped forward, then the ground trembled. A shadow rose behind the tree. A giant figure, half human, half spirit, covered in smoke. It was the spirit warrior Ukodo fought years ago. Its eyes burned like fire, its voices cracked like thunder. "You dare touch the skull of Ukodo?" Umupke froze. The spirit stepped forward. "You want to know how he died? Then listen. He did not die by my hand. Umupke gasped. The spirit pointed at the skull with his smoking finger. Ukodo was not killed by the enemy. He was betrayed by someone in your kingdom. The forest fell silent. Umupke's heart broke. His grandfather, a hero to all, was killed by one of his own people. The spirit voice softened. Take the skull, child, but know this, the truth will return with you. With trembling hands, Umupke lifted the skull. Immediately, a warm wind blew around him, and a voice whispered, My son, do not fear the forest. The time has come for the truth. Ukodo's voice. The skull glowed brighter. Umupke felt tears burning his eyes. The ground stopped shaking. The spirit warrior vanished, and Umupke began the long journey home. His legs were weak. His throat felt like burning sand, but he held the skull to his chest like a newborn baby. When he finally stepped out of the forest, the entire kingdom erupted in joy. He has returned. Ukodo's bloodline has saved us. The festival we hold. But Umupke did not smile. He placed the skull gently before the elders. The skull glowed again. And then, before the whole kingdom, it began to speak. Umupke stepped back as Ukodo's ancestral voice filled the air. Umupke, I was not killed by the enemy. I was betrayed by one of you. The villagers froze in horror. Umupke's mother covered her mouth. The elders trembled. Children clung to their parents. And then the entire kingdom of Umupke stood froze. The skull of Ukodo glowed brighter, casting a pale light over every faces in the village square. Women held their children close. Men swallowed hard, their heart beating like drums. Then Ukodo's deep voice echoed. The one who betrayed me was not a warrior, not a stranger, not a spirit, but an elder of Umupke. A long dreadful silence followed. People stared at the council of elders. Old men wrapped in white cloths, their staffs trembled in their hands. Ukodo's voice continued. One man called me his brother, sat with me, ate with me, laughed with me, and see, he sold my life to the spirit warrior. Gasps erupted from the crowd. Umupke gripped his mother's hand gently. His legs almost gave way beneath him. Ukodo's skull now turned slowly, turning toward one elder in particular, the oldest, the one with the tallest staff, the one everyone respected since childhood. His name was Egodo, called Egodo the Wise. His face went pale. The skull spoke again. Egodo, you promised the spirit warrior my life in exchange for the throne of Umupke. A loud cry burst from the villagers. Ah, Egodo, our elder, Ukodo's friend. Children began to cry. Women covered their faces. Some men shook their heads violently as if refusing to believe it. Egodo dropped his staff. It hit the ground with a sharp crack. Tears rolled down his wrinkled cheek as he sank to his knees. All eyes fixed on the elder. His lips trembled. His voice cracked like an old calabash. Yes, I did it. The crowd roared in disbelief. Egodo raised his hands, begging for silence. I was young then. I was hungry for power. I wanted to be king. Ukodo was loved by all. Even the elders whispered he would become a ruler one day. His voice shook. Jealousy ate me. I met the spirit warrior in the shadow of midnight. I offered Ukodo's life in exchange for the kingship. Villagers shouted angrily. You betrayed Umupke. You killed our protector. You cursed this land. Egodo bowed his head. I have lived with the guilty for many seasons. Each festival reminds me of my sin. I am ready for my punishment. But then the skull spoke again, its voice softer, heavier. Umupke, my people, listen. The angry voice faded. Ukodo continued. Egodo was wrong. His jealousy wounded this land. But I do not ask for blood. I ask for truth and healing. The villagers were silent, confused. Umupke stepped forward, eyes bright with tears. Grandfather, what must be done? The skull turned to him gently. Ukodo's spirit spoke with calm authority. Egudo must confess his betrayal to every generation, so that Umupke may never repeat such jealousy again. The people murmured. Ukodo continued. The festival shall continue, but from today, it shall not only celebrate my bravery, it shall teach the danger of envy and the destruction of betrayal. Egudo bowed low, his head touching the ground. Forgive me, Ukodo. Forgive me, Umupke. Ukodo's voice answered. Forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness is remembering and choosing differently. The skull stopped glowing. The air became calm. A warm breeze blew across the village as if Ukodo's spirit smiled upon them. Obiekpo lifted the skull, tears falling freely. The people knelt. Drums began to beat slow, sorrowful healing beats. The festival continued that day, but the tune changed. It became a celebration of truth, courage, and unity. And Egudo lived the rest of his days, teaching young ones the pain caused by jealousy. When the celebration ended, the chief priest stood up and spoke loudly. From today onward, Obiekpo, grandson of Ukodo, shall be the guardian of the skull, the keeper of truth. The villagers cheered, women ululated, children danced around him. Obiekpo felt a warm light surround him, as if Ukodo's spirit wrapped him in a fatherly embrace. He raised the skull highly and declared, no evil shall enter Umupke again, not while the blood of Ukodo still walks this land. The sky cleared, the sun shone brightly, peace returned to Umupke, and so began a new era, an era where truth stood taller than jealousy, and unity was stronger than fear.
Subscribe for more.